pleasure to be here this afternoon. I want to thank all of you for coming out here. I know it's a cold day. I love to see your enthusiasm, your energy, your interest in what's going on. I want to see that energy and that interest and that enthusiasm keep going right on through the November elections. We need you. This banner here is 100 feet long or so. It's color-coded. The blue part shows the nitrogen in the atmosphere. The white part shows the oxygen in the atmosphere. If you want to see the amount of carbon dioxide, you can go on the bottom of it. There's a little tiny speck that shows how much carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere. I got an idea for a comedy skit. Tell me what you think of this. We get a guy, an actor that looks like Governor Doyle. We have him doing a press conference in Florida with a bunch of frozen grapefruit trees behind him. He just got back from Copenhagen. Next to him, he's got his state-issued SUV and a state-issued airplane. And he's giving a press conference on global warming. We got to fight global warming in Wisconsin. We got to do something to stop the rising sea levels, the overheating of the planet, the polar bears drowning. We're at the tipping point. Just about then, a frozen grapefruit falls off the tree and bounces off his head. It doesn't faze him, though. He keeps right on going. He says, we're going to pass a law in Wisconsin. We're going to stop this global warming. Here's what I got for my ideas. First of all, we're going to put up windmills all over the state. We're going to make our electricity more expensive, and then we're going to buy it back ourselves. It's going to help our economy, and it's going to fight global warming. Then we're going to enact California car standards in Wisconsin. And the way we're going to do it, we're going to have our standards indexed to California. So if California makes their standards more stringent, ours automatically become more stringent too. We fight global warming, and we don't even have to do anything. And then we're going to enact a low-carbon fuel standard. It's going to mean more ethanol for us. We're going to fight global warming and get more ethanol. It's a great idea. Just then another frozen grapefruit falls off the tree, bounces off the governor's head. There's a couple of reporters in the crowd, and one of them says, Governor, you know, it's been kind of cold here lately. When you say we're going to fight global warming, don't you mean you want to make it colder? And the governor says, well, you know, you got a point there. I'll tell you what, we'll keep the global warming part fighting that. We'll keep that secret, and we'll call this the Clean Energy Jobs Act, so people think that we're going to make more jobs, all these green jobs. Another reporter raises their hand and says, sir, didn't the Wisconsin Policy Research Institute just come out with a report that said this bill is going to cost us 31,000 manufacturing jobs? The governor says, well, actually, that's an overestimate. That's not going to happen. And just then, all of the frozen grapefruit trees fall down, and the crowd breaks into laughter, and that's, you know what? That's not a comedy skit. I wish it was a comedy skit. That is the fact. That is exactly what Governor Doyle and his friends in the legislature and the Global Warming Task Force want to do. They want low-carbon fuel standards, windmills, and all kinds of stuff, including how many watts your clock radio can draw. And they're going to tell us by 2030, any building that's put up in the state can't use more energy than is produced on site. How are we going to do that? He doesn't care. And you know who he's going to put in charge? This bill, by the way, is 174 pages long. You know who's going to be in charge of administrating all these new laws? Department of Natural Resources. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the agency that's having trouble counting how many deer we have in Wisconsin. The bill has already been assigned to a special committee. It has 7 Democrats and 3 Republicans. Eventually, they're going to have a hearing, and eventually that committee will take a vote. I suspect the vote is going to be 7-3 in favor of it.
bet.
I was asked if I would serve on that committee, and I turned down the opportunity because I'm going to be fighting this bill so hard I wouldn't have a place on the table with that committee. I want to do everything I can over the next 2 months, in front of the scenes and behind the scenes, to try to stop this thing, because I think it will be a disaster for our economy in Wisconsin. And you know what? It isn't going to do anything for anybody's climate. Because I can tell you right now, if we all stop breathing, we all stop trying to keep warm, we could cut our carbon dioxide emissions in Wisconsin to 0. It will have no impact, no benefit, nothing on the climate. This is all feel-good environmental legislation. It has nothing to do with benefit for the climate. My problem right now is I don't have enough people on my side of the aisle. We're in the minority in the Assembly and in the Senate. I would like to see that change in the next session. But in the meantime, here's what we can do. It's Assembly Bill 649. You're going to be hearing more about it. And by the way, the only thing that wasn't true about that comedy skit is about the reporters asking certain questions. All I see in the newspaper is about these great windmills and this 150 jobs or something we're going to get in Wisconsin. Well, we lose thousands of jobs. Let your legislators know what you think about Assembly Bill 649. And more importantly, your friends, your relatives, your associates in other parts of the state, especially if they have Democratic legislators, make sure they let their legislators know what they think of Assembly Bill 649. We work together. We can beat this thing. Thank you very, very much.